Good morning, my loves. Dina here with No Fear, Just Flow. So today I want to talk about the things that I think that are important to give up for God. And a lot of those things are the things that keep us from hearing God. And so I don't give up things for God because God demands it. I give up things for God because I want to be closer to God. And God was kept from me my whole life, intentionally, by my parents. And when I say kept from me, I don't mean that we just weren't a religious family. I mean that we were atheists, meaning that we weren't allowed to talk about God. I was told that God was not real. I was told that anybody that believed in God was crazy, that anybody believed in God was stupid. And so that kept me from really respecting a lot of people or trusting people. It kept me very isolated. It kept me in darkness. And so I sought out a lot of darkness because that's what felt familiar. It felt familiar not just because of the atheism that I was raised in, but because there was a lot of darkness in my life. And maybe it's because my parents weren't close to God that there was darkness. And so now that a lifetime of darkness, not that I didn't have great times, I've always been a good person. I've always loved people tremendously, but I never really had true faith. And so that kept me from really feeling joyful in a lot of ways. It kept me insecure. It kept me feeling faithless and questioned. I questioned everything. I feared. I was very fearful. And it wasn't until everything was taken from me and my life kind of ended up in a shambles that I reached out and started talking to God in a very real way. And it was funny because my oldest daughter, when I said to her, "Is it going to be weird to you if I have a relationship with God?" She said, "No, Mom, a lot of people find God in their darkest moments." And that is when I found God. And I'm so grateful that both my daughters have God in their life as well on different levels, but they still have him. And so I say to people, if you have lost God along the way, or if God was given to you in a frightening way, or maybe like me, you were never blessed to have God at all in your life, maybe it's time to reevaluate things. We are in a time of truth, maybe darkness a little bit, but I also think that abundance is coming. I also think that there has been a major shift in the world. And if you're paying attention, you will see that darkness is coming to light. So that's not a bad thing. That's a wonderful thing. When darkness comes to light, it means that it has to be shed. And so we want that to happen. It's hard to see it, right? It's hard to understand that we have had all of this around us, but we have. So wouldn't you rather know and let it be taken care of than for it to still be cloaked in darkness? So for me, giving up things for God, what have I given up? I have given up the need to escape with alcohol or marijuana. I have given up the need to find solace in another human being. I have learned to be alone. I have learned to be in the silence. I have learned that God will align me with the right partner when it's time. And even though sometimes that gets frustrating, I also know that this time alone gets me closer to God. I have learned the art of fasting over the last 10 years, and I realize after having a bad weekend of just indulging, and I'll probably indulge right into the new or the Thanksgiving, that I miss fasting, that I am closer to God when I fast, that when I eat unhealthy foods, that my body feels heavy, my soul feels heavy, my whole being feels heavy. And so I think it's safe to say that people are addicted to food in this country because they put addictive things in the food. And it's not just food. Like, people are addicted to sex, pornography, to lust, to, needing an escape, because there's a lot to escape from. I had somebody recently tell me that eventually I won't need to do some of the things I do, like sound healings and sweat lodges and those types of things, as I get closer to God. And I don't know if that's true or not, because I think that some of those things are given to me by God. And I wonder if people understand that things like football are a distraction, like a Roman gladiator sport that distract us from Sunday when we're supposed to be spending time with God. And so why is it so important to me to talk about God? Because God has literally saved me from darkness. And I understand that there are people out there that think this sounds crazy. I understand that there are people out there, in my belief, that have demons in them. And so they make demonic choices in the sense that they use other people. They hurt other people. They don't do their real healing, and because it's easier to just give in to the darkness and the distractions. And so if you find yourself in darkness or distracted, or if you found yourself afraid of God, I would suggest that you take time to really talk to him, to really quiet your mind. Maybe shut everything off and spend 15 minutes in silence, like pull into a parking lot and take time to listen and talk to God, because he's there and he doesn't care. He's not upset about the things that we've done. He just wants us to be happy. So no fear, just flow. Think about that. You are loved. You are God.